Picture this: Genghis Khan's Mongol army, one of the most terrifying forces in human history, sweeping across Eurasia on zebras. Or an American cowboy riding into the sunset on a black and white striped zebra. It sounds like a joke, like something a broken AI would spit out at 3 a.m. But here's the thing. Biologically, it should have worked. Zebras and horses are almost the same animal, same size, similar speed, close enough in their DNA that they can actually produce offspring together. They even call it a zorse. So why didn't it happen? Across thousands of years of human civilization, not once, not one zebra cavalry, not one zebra-mounted soldier, not a single sustained attempt that actually succeeded. And when you go looking for the real answer, not the simple answer, the real one, you find something that has nothing to do with biology. It has to do with killing, with survival, and with how brutally honest nature can be about the price of trust. First, let's understand what it actually takes to domesticate an animal, because humans have done some insane things in this department. We took gray wolves, wild, vicious pack predators, and turned them into golden retrievers that bring you slippers. We climbed onto the backs of Asian elephants, multi-ton animals with the strength to uproot trees. We took wild aurochs, enormous cattle that could gore a man to death, and slowly reshaped them into the gentle beef animals we eat today. So the failure with zebras isn't for lack of trying. Humans are relentless when we want something. The evolutionary biologist Jared Diamond described this with something called the Ana Karenina principle. Domesticated animals are all alike. Every undomesticated animal fails in its own specific way. It's like a job interview with multiple rounds. Fail one round, any round, and you're out. What does the interview look like? The animal can't be too picky about food. It has to reproduce under human control. It can't panic so severely that it destroys itself every time something startles it. But the most important requirement, the one that separates the domesticable from the wild, is this. It has to understand hierarchy, and horses understood hierarchy perfectly. A horse herd runs on a simple structure. One horse leads. It decides where the group eats, where it drinks, where it goes. The others follow. So when humans broke the lead horse, through pressure, through persistence, through ropes and time, they weren't just taming one animal. They were inheriting the entire herd's social operating system. To a horse, a human was just a strange new lead horse. That's it. That's the whole trick. So when European colonizers arrived in Africa in the late 19th century and looked out across the savannah at thousands of zebras running in formation, they had one thought: free labor, with stripes. The most famous example is Lord Rothschild in Britain. He spent a fortune training 4 zebras to pull his carriage. Then he rode that carriage directly to Buckingham Palace to prove, publicly, that zebras were the next great transportation breakthrough. People believed him. They were wrong, because the people who actually tried to ride zebras didn't find cute grassland ponies hiding beneath those stripes. They found something else entirely. In American zoos, zookeepers are reportedly injured by zebras more often than by tigers. Not occasionally. More often. When a zebra bites, its jaw locks. It does not let go. Lions have had bones broken by zebras mid-attack. And here's where it gets almost surreal. When a cowboy throws a lasso toward a zebra's neck, that rope looping through the air, the universal symbol of human control, the zebra does something ordinary horses never evolved. It drops its head at full speed in one fluid, bizarre, almost impossible motion, and the rope misses completely. Zebras evolved a specific physical reflex to dodge capture. Think about what that means for a second. It's not stubbornness. It's not aggression for its own sake. Something in the zebra's history made the sensation of something approaching its neck, at speed, the signal for immediate evasion. And that's when the real story begins. For a long time, science offered a comfortable explanation. Zebras are too aggressive, too unpredictable, too individualistic. They lack the social hierarchy that makes domestication possible. They're essentially the defective branch of the horse family. It's a very human answer. We love labeling what we can't control as broken. But that explanation misses everything. Because this was never about personality. It was about time and geography. Horses and humans did not grow up together. Wild horses evolved across the Americas and Eurasia. Landscapes with predators, yes, but nothing like what waited in Africa. Their world was, relatively speaking, survivable on decent instincts and reasonable wariness. So when humans first appeared in front of wild horses near the end of the Ice Age, upright, strange-limbed, carrying primitive weapons, the horses had no reference point. They had never seen anything like this before. Some of them may have even been curious. That curiosity killed them. Those horses were surrounded, driven into corners, captured and broken. And because they had no evolved response to specifically avoid humans, the domestication process could take hold. Horses could be tamed because they had never truly met the danger. Zebras had. The African savanna is not a moderate environment. It is one of the most unforgiving ecosystems on the planet. For millions of years, zebras shared that land with lions, the most powerful social predators on Earth, hyenas with jaws strong enough to crush bone, crocodiles waiting, motionless at every watering hole, and early humans, evolving, hungry, getting smarter every generation. Zebras didn't just encounter ancient humans occasionally. They watched us develop. They were there when our ancestors came down from the trees. They saw us learn to walk upright. They watched us pick up stones, shape spears, learn to coordinate in groups, learn to use fire. And they watched us eat their family members. For millions of years, that process ran without stopping. And here is what natural selection does with a million years of that kind of pressure. Every zebra with even a trace of gentleness, gone. Every zebra that hesitated before bolting, gone. Every zebra with any trace of curiosity toward a two-legged predator, gone. The soft ones, the trusting ones, the slightly less paranoid ones, all removed from the gene pool. By humans, by lions, by everything that moved on that savanna. What remained, what survived, were only the most suspicious, the most explosive, the most unrelentingly vigilant. Every zebra alive today is descended from those animals, the ones who never relaxed, the ones who treated every approaching shape as a potential death sentence. That lasso dodge isn't a quirk. It's a memory. Thousands of years ago, when something flew toward a zebra's neck, what came next was death. A snare, a spear, jaws closing. The zebras that flinched, that hesitated, that didn't drop their head fast enough. They didn't survive to pass anything on. The bite that doesn't release isn't aggression in the way we mean it. It's what you do when letting go means dying. The zebra didn't develop these traits despite living alongside humans. It developed them because of it. For most of history, we told this story the comfortable way. Horses and cattle were the success stories. They joined human civilization, spread across the world, became useful. We called that a win for them. And zebras, we said they missed the boat. Too difficult, too volatile, left behind. But look at what that framing actually means. The successful animals are the ones that bent, that lowered their heads, that allowed humans to direct where they went, what they ate, when they reproduced, and ultimately when they died. The zebra refused every single part of that arrangement. Without our mercy, without our protection, without becoming useful to us on our terms, and on a continent filled with some of the most lethal predators on the planet, it survived. Not despite its refusal. Because of it. So maybe this was never a failure in the history of domestication. Maybe that's exactly the wrong frame. On a planet where almost every large mammal eventually lowered its head before human beings, where wolves became lapdogs, where wild horses became cavalry, where enormous bulls became livestock, the zebra drew a line and held it. Those black and white stripes aren't a quirk of evolution. They're a record of every predator that came, every trap laid, every human who approached with a rope and learned the hard way that this animal was not going to comply. Millions of years of that history, written in behavior, written in reflex, written into every zebra born today. So the next time you see one, don't wonder why we never got to ride it. Because what you're actually looking at is a creature that saw the full reality of what humans are, understood exactly what that meant for its survival, and made a decision that held across millions of years. The answer was no, and it has never changed.